Good day, hope you're doing great. Welcome back to TJ Star Academics. It's nice to have you today. For today, we're going to be looking into our JAMB tips and tricks for the examination. Now, these tips and tricks are not past questions, they are not malpractice in any form, they are just advices gathered from experiences of previous candidates and how they were able to ace further in their examination. So if you would love to do so, follow through as we are going to start with the prologue and look into some of the things you're supposed to know about the JAMB ETM examination before that day.
Okay, so basically we are going to be starting with prologue. For the first part of the prologue, what to know about every objective-based examination. Every examination that is based on an objective, or in other words, have only an objective section, are affected by two basic factors we just can't overlook: speed and accuracy. Overlooking these two factors in such an examination is no different from planning your own failure. So it just shows how important it is for one to remember that he has to be fast enough, work with time, and also make sure that what he's selecting as the right option is actually accurate. Those serious candidates would want to do that, that's plan his own failure. Every standard examination based on objective basically must have a time limit. You can't write an examination for over 10 hours, it's just not possible, especially when it is objective, when you have options to select from. I don't think there's any examination that will be able to last for 10 hours. Mostly the time allotted for a particular OBJ examination is either announced earlier before the examination or can be easily determined from previous examinations of that same kind. In this case now we are aware that out of JAMB is 2 hours. Assuming the OBJ examination you're going to sit for is different from JAMB, you should also be aware of how long it will last from previous examinations that have been held for other sessions before yours. So there's no excuse. You have to include that in your preparation. The timing. You have to include the timing in your preparation. There's no two way about that. Tip 2, consider more on how to manage speed and make it more effective. The next point is accuracy. Now that's why you have this guideline, this series of guidelines. We are going to break down this video, this explanation, these tips and guide into a series of different videos that will explain each point so that each video is not too long and yet still have basic points that you can benefit from. That's why you have this series. Now in case you want access to this ebook I'm making use of for this video, comment TJ Star Guide in the comment section and I'll let you know how to get access to this book. Currently we are going to be giving it out for free to the first 50 people to make a comment. First 50 comments, we are going to be giving out the ebook for free. The ebook explains basically what you need to know, tips, tricks in making better grades, better score in JAMB. Now all these tips are not past questions, they're not textbook, they're not malpractice, just thinking faculty, what many people are not aware of, what people should be aware of in order to perform well in JAMB. Reasoning, it was compiled using the experience from many students, experiences from them. You gather these experiences to bring out basic key points that will benefit each candidate if they had that information. Now currently this ebook sells for 5,000 naira currently. The price will not remain stable, probably as the economy grows, depending on how things are, the price may increase, it might increase. But currently we are giving it out for free to the first 50 candidates. Let's go ahead for you to prepare efficiently, you're going to need this guide to point out certain things. All you have to do is work with the guide and let go of fear. While in the examination hall, during the examination, you might have reason, you should have a reason why the option you picked is the most likely correct one. This ensures that your accuracy is at a more higher level. It will also be discussed later in the series, just as it is in the ebook. This book will help you to do that. In this case, I'll say this series will help you to achieve that with speed and accuracy at not less than 80% each. JAMB UTME examination is a total breakthrough. Now, if you follow through with our channel, you observe that we created a short video on our channel that summarizes each point separately. Now that short or those shorts are required to direct you to this main series where each point will be broken down for better understanding and results. Okay, let's proceed with point 2. What to know about JAMB objective-based examination. So we are yet to enter the main tips and tricks. This is just an introduction to the series. Truly, like every other objective-based test, JAMB also requires speed and accuracy, but there's more to that. Okay, so while we are going through this, I want to keep in mind that this ebook was written about 2-3 years ago, so there are some information that might not be up to date, but I'm going to be taking note of those ones and correcting it, making sure that every information you get on this series is up to date. First of all, the JAMB UTME CBT examination has been organized by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board of Nigeria to test the ability and qualifications of Nigerian students who wish to further their studies with a tertiary institution in Nigeria. Now, this is basically university. Those that want to join a university in Nigeria have to write this particular examination by JAMB. Now, JAMB conducts admission into universities in Nigeria, ensure that only qualified students get admitted into the course they wish to study in the university. That's why JAMB have their own cutoff mark, even though institutions are permitted to have their own cutoff mark for each course. Yes. This examination is conducted at different qualified CBT centers around the country. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board of Nigeria also organizes a mock examination to prepare interested students for the main exercise. So coming back to this, basically most of us know about the mock examination. It's just like a preparation test, a demo of what the JAMB examination should look like. According to research studies, conclusion has been made that in most cases, the mock examination is usually made more difficult than the actual examination. So when most students conclude that with the results from their mock examination that they are not going to do well at all, you see that those students later on, after sitting for the main examination, seem to do better than they did in their mock examination. So in as much as the mock examination is there to show you what the exam will look like, you don't use it to conclude how prepared you are for the examination. You just test your ability, just to make sure that you know what you're expecting in the main examination. So it's to prepare interested ones. Basically this examination, this mock, is supposed to be optional for those who wish to. The payment for it, the registration for it is also separate for the main examination. But likely the JAMB body might actually come to make the mock compulsory based on information that we're getting. They might actually come to make it compulsory. So just in case they make it compulsory, everyone will be informed so that they they also include it in the registration. This mock examination currently now is not compulsory for all students. The main UTME examination consists of 180 questions, which I believe you should be aware of. These 180 questions are to be answered in 2 hours, 120 minutes. Of the 180 questions, 60 is allotted to English language, our official language, which is compulsory for each student who wish to sit for the examination. So let me explain this first of all. I believe it's explanatory, but I want to come to the fact that 180 questions is to be written in 120 minutes. 180 questions, 120 minutes. So you see that you don't have up to 1 minute for each question. You have less than 1 minute for each question. We are still going to calculate that as we go ahead with the series in the ebook. You see a clear calculation of how much time you have on an average for each question, so that you know how to work with time. Okay, and it's mentioned that the English language has 60 of these questions. 60 out of the 180 belongs to English language, and this is because of it is compulsory. This, despite the course you want to study, the department you want to join in any university, English language is compulsory in your JAMB UTME examination. The candidate will then pick 3 other subjects according to the course he or she wishes to consider in the university. These other 3 subjects will offer 40 questions each, in addition to the 60 questions from English language. Okay, in addition to the 60 questions from English language. So that's how we get to 180. We have 60 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40. You come to 180. So the others are equally 40, 40, 40, then English 60. And these other 3 subjects are based on the department you wish to join, the field or course you wish to study in the university. All these 180 questions are to be answered in the 2-hour schedule provided. Importantly, the JAMB UTME examination is currently written as a CBT based test. It should be a CBT test, because the full meaning of CBT is computer based test on its own. So when you hear of CBT, it means that the examination you're going to write it with a system, either a desktop or a laptop. It should have a screen, a keyboard, and then the means of controlling the mouse and clicking on options to select the particular option you choose as your answer. So it's computer based. That's why it's called CBT. This means that there is more to know about JAMB test. That's why most people go to have a little computer training to ensure that they are efficient in controlling the arrow, the cursor on the screen, so that they don't have issues with selecting their options during the exam. Each question will be presented on a monitor or laptop screen, just as I've explained, with a mouse or a touchpad to select an answer by moving and controlling the cursor. If you wish, you are permitted to skip a question and come back to it later. Now, this is an advantage. Majority of students waste time on difficult questions, and they later come to realize that there are actually simple questions they are fully familiar with later on, and by the time they go to those questions, they have limited amount of time remaining to answer the examination, and they get to start choosing them randomly. Now, the difficult one, you wasted time on it and probably did not actually get the correct answer, and those you're sure you don't have time to miss them again. So that's where this feature becomes an advantage to you. being able to skip a question and come back to it later. A digital calculator will be provided in the program to enable candidates who will sit for the examination, including subjects that require calculations, to do that with ease without the need of bringing in a hardware calculator. That's the usual Casio or whichever calculator that you use in school. The JAMB body does it to avoid malpractice. So basically you have to make use of the calculator on the screen in the system. That's another reason why you need to know how to control your cursor. It's not to be difficult to navigate through the calculator also. Just like the questions, you can also choose to select a different subject and return to the previous one later. Another advantage, assuming you're better at answering, let's assume your subject combination is English, biology, chemistry, and physics, and the first question that pops up is English. And you've answered English, probably comprehension, and you go to the novel, and the novel is seeming difficult. You go to the next part of English, it's also difficult. You can choose to you can choose to skip English and go to biology. Probably you're better at biology, at answering biology questions. You can choose to skip English, go to biology and answer it. And when you're done answering the ones you know, the ones you're more sure of, you can now come back to English language and continue from where we stopped. The JAMB body will start releases of results about 2 weeks after the commencement of the examination or more. So usually it's not less than 2 weeks. Usually it's from 2 weeks above. Sometimes it's actually up to a month. Sometimes the result actually stays up to a month before it's released. In other cases, in other rare cases, it stays more than a month. The results stay more than a month. The final part we're considering for this particular video is point 3. What to know about JAMB UTME registration. Now in this particular section, majority of the information are based on how it was in the 2022 UTME. So in any case where there are changes, I'm going to be taking note of that. Let's go ahead. The JAMB UTME registration starts about 2 to 3 months before the commencement of the examination. This is still accurate. To register for the exercise completely, you will need a secure SIM card, a functional Gmail account or email account, and your registration fee. Now, one of the detail that is currently not accurate is that of the fee. In the book here we have, this fee is not always constant, varying from 5,000 to 10,000 naira, but you don't expect it to always fall within this range. You just have to go to the JAMB cyber cafe, inquire of the price. Usually JAMB will publicize it, so you hear it probably on the news, on articles, blog posts, websites. So the fee is not something that you start looking for. You start making inquiries and it's difficult to find out how much to pay. It's usually known. Follow the steps. These steps for registration. Send your NIN number to 55019 or to 66019. I don't know if that of 66019 is still functional, but I'm sure you can make use of 55019. Take note that in most cases, it is more preferable to make use of 55019, and that this process should cost you some airtime worth not less than 50 naira. Not less than. JAMB can actually increase it from 50 naira to above 100. So they're expecting that you'll be charged from your airtime for the service. After this, you have to receive an SMS with your profile code not less than 4 hours after the action. Sometimes For some candidates, it takes less than 4 hours. In other candidates, they have to wait over 24 hours, depending on the traffic, probably when many candidates are trying to apply towards the deadline of the registration. Do not feel so bothered if this takes more than 4 hours before any responses. Nigerian time is forever the same. This delay may be more prevailing if your registration is a bit near the deadline, as many students try to do this during that period, making it difficult for the JAMB body to attend to the crowd of aspirants efficiently and effectively. This is what I've just explained. It's like when many people in a particular area are trying to use the same network, so that there's usually network jam, poor reception because of the population, the crowd. That's how it also is for the JAMB system in generating profile codes and recording the details of the candidates from the NIN portal. Now, when you receive your profile code, you are taken to a CBT center with the SIM card used for the transaction. Very important to remember, before I forget this, even though I think it's also mentioned later in the ebook, very important, the SIM card you use for your JAMB registration is very, very important. I repeat, the SIM card for your JAMB registration is very, very important. Try whatever you can to safeguard it so that you always have access to this SIM card. Okay, so take note of that. The SIM card is very important. When you receive a profile code, take it to the CBT center with your SIM card. They'll provide you with a receipt as proof of transaction and a form to fill your vital information. Now, with this form, they are going to proceed to input your data into the JAMB panel. This form, the information for the form may include your date of birth, full name, state of origin, address, gender, residence, choice of course and discretion, and some few other details. So while going to that cyber cafe, ensure that you have these details so that you don't come back home to look for the details and still go back. So that you're prepared when you're going. Take these details and any other one that you feel might be relevant for the JAMB registration. If you have a sibling or friend who has gone through JAMB registration before, you can also make inquiries because these details will keep changing as the year go by. So ask from those of the previous year to get a more updated information. After completely filling the form, that should be form. There should not be there. After completely filling the form, you are required to return to the CBT center for capturing. Most times, this is not done exactly at the center. There are some centers that don't have the facility for capturing, so they refer you to other places where you can do the capturing. You might be referred to another center where you'll be captured and requested of your thumbprints and any other essential biometric information. After being captured, you should be given a novel required for the examination. If you happen to write the examination between 2022 and this should be 2024, not 2025. Between 2022 and 2024, you make use of the novel, the life changer. But currently, for this year's 2025 JAMB UTME examination, the novel is Lakey Headmaster. So I believe if you have done the registration, you should know the novel. You have to completely read this novel and expect questions from it under English language in the examination. Later, probably a week after, you have to return to that cyber cafe or CBT center for your JAMB registration form. This is usually known as reprinting. You hear they say it's time for reprinting. Students go to reprint to get your registration form. Okay, sorry. Registration form is different from examination form. So the examination form is what you go for reprinting. They reprint the examination form to show you the location of your examination, the time of that examination, your candidate number for the examination, or examination number in other words. So the registration form will contain basic information, including subjects you are to sit for, your phone number, your email. Also, keep this registration form very well. It will be written on it, JAMB registration form, or just registration form on its own. Keep the registration form important. It's very, very, very important. It will most likely be needed when you want to access your JAMB CAPS account, when you come to us for assistance with your JAMB CAPS accounts and want to verify the email that was actually used for your JAMB registration. So remember that this registration form is very important. If you don't know the venue appropriately, you are advised to locate it days before the examination to avoid disappointments and late arrival on that day. So if you check after the reprinting, you are with your examination slip or form, and you check the venue, you are not familiar with the venue, it's advised to go ahead of that day to go and confirm that venue, so that you don't wait for your JAMB registration day before you go and probably don't meet up with the time. You're also expected to pay a fee of about, this was for the 2022 JAMB session. Currently Gmail account is compulsory during the JAMB registration. You cannot register JAMB separately and later go to link your email. It's compulsory now. You cannot register a JAMB UTME examination without an email. So this email account is meant to enable you to receive updates from JAMB concerning the examination. For students who have issues with their email, probably wrong email that was input during your registration, you can also check our channel for videos that will address that topic. Endeavor to keep the SIM card, as I mentioned, endeavor to keep the SIM card used for registration very safe, as it might be required later during admission processes and retrieval of results. Your profile code and registration number are also very important too. So that of the SIM card is very vital. Usually before the original JAMB result is out, they used to release it to the SMS portal so that you can access your results via SMS using only that JAMB registered SIM card. That's one of the reasons why it's very vital. You cannot check it without that. You cannot use another SIM card to check your results. It has to be that JAMB registered SIM card. Now, to check your JAMB results via SMS, you are required to send UTME results to 55019 using the same SIM card used for registration. This might cost you 15 naira airtime or more. For the original result slip, you'll be required to go to the CBT center and pay for the slip, or you can access it via your JAMB CAPS account. These are features that the JAMB CAPS account makes very simple. Now, if you don't know what the JAMB CAPS account is, you're hearing it for the first time, check out our video on JAMB CAPS accounts that explains JAMB CAPS accounts completely. If you also heard of JAMB CAPS accounts and you're finding it an issue creating an account on the JAMB CAPS portal, you're getting the issue, this module is temporarily unavailable, also endeavor to visit our channel. There's a video that also addresses that. Now, the first video we created concerning that, people were ignoring it, making useless comments. We made another video to clarify all those issues. So check out the channel for it and endeavor to watch the video. Keep this, for the original JAMB result slip. You have to keep it safe as it will be required during the admission processes for most institutions. In fact, for all institutions, it is mandatory. Now it depends on the institution to keep it mandatory or not. But by JAMB, it is mandatory that you go with that original JAMB result slip. So believing that the whole information was well understood, we'll be starting our journey to smashing JAMB with common sense in the next video of the series. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that YouTube will notify you when we release the next video for the series. Turn on the notification button for that notification. Like this video if you actually benefited from it. If you're interested in getting the next video, comment in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe again. You can pause the video now and click on the subscribe button and get back. These tips will help you, and they have been provided to enable you to avoid errors that most JAMB candidates made. And it has been compiled through analysis of possible challenges from other students so that you can be able to avoid them. Don't forget to share this video to a friend who is also going to be sitting for the JAMB ECM examination. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Remember, this is TJ Star Academics. Have a wonderfully beautiful day.